So today we're basically looking how we can leverage your guys' businesses here and get you more leverage in your business so you don't have to spend as much time working in your business. You can then work on your business and work on lead generation more effectively. And the best way to do that is going to be SmartPlans. So as always, I like to start from the home screen just in case there's anyone who hasn't seen the home screen, and today we know there is. So as always, if you come up here and hit the red square, that's going to expand these boxes and tell you where everything's at so you don't have to guess and click around a million times. And today we're going to go into SmartPlans. So who here knows what a SmartPlan is? What you got, Cameron?
The smart plans are what you use to set up, you connect them to your contacts, and then it sends them out on a regular basis on however often you chose for them to get that message. And then there's like a ton of different ones on there.
Yeah, so basically that's right. A smart plan is a way to automate your follow-up so that way people are on the plan and they're getting your marketing and you don't have to put as much thought into it. You know, traditionally, historically, when you would go in to do marketing in real estate, you'd have to keep it written down somewhere on a spreadsheet. You'd have to remember, oh, hey, I need to take care of these drip campaigns. I need to check in with this. This takes that out of it and gives you a to-do list every day, as well as automate several tasks. So the first thing I want to do is just go ahead and come on in here and go into the Smart Plan library. And the Smart Plan library here is going to have all sorts of opportunities for you to add things to smart plans that are pre-created. So instead of having to come up with a plan yourself, let's say you're a new agent, or let's say you don't want to recreate the wheel, you can come in here and you're going to have the featured listings right up here. This is what Keller Williams like, hey, these are good, people are using them, people like them. Also, you have other plans down here that are either brand new or Keller Williams created. And I just want to show you, you can go ahead and just search for a smart plan name. So earlier today, I talked about the Promote My App smart plan. And if I come in here and put an app, we can see that smart plan is right here. And we can click Add Smart Plan to rename it and then download that smart plan. Now, it's not going to let you download it more than once because every smart plan has to have a unique name. And I could rename this and download it again, but I don't want to because it's already in there. Now, let's say you're looking for something a bit more targeted. You want a follow-up plan, right? Well, you can go ahead and go follow up in here. And that will bring this up. But then you can click on the filter. And you can choose how long the smart plan runs, because they can run for up to a year, or they can just be reoccurring. You can do it by touches, so how many times there's a contact with the client in there. You can even say, hey, I want to make sure there's at least 500, well, we'll just ballpark there. I guess I could just type in here, 500 agents using this smart plan and whatnot. Sorry. Distracted by text. We could say, hey, we want to make sure there's at least 500 people using a smart plan because I want to know it's being used. Or you can even go by star rating. I want ones that are only 4 stars or better. And then you can filter those results that way too. So another thing you can do is come in here with your filters, and you can just go ahead and say, you know, Brian put out a smart plan that I'd like to use. And you can just search by the author's name, give that a click, and then you see here is a smart plan that I went ahead and I have authored. I have 55 agents using it right now, and it's a holiday pop-by smart plan. So that's a way where you can come into the library and you can get smart plans that are already created. At the end of class today, I'm actually going to go ahead and share one of my smart plans for you guys to use if you so choose. Any questions on the library, though? Okie dokie. That was weird. Sorry. hit my notification out of habit, and there's a weird text there. Anywho, we can go back in here. We can go back into my SmartPlans, and I'm actually going to work it out of this side for now. This is my personal side. I run tech training through this side, and my business is actually run through my team account. So over here, we have the basic smart plan setup. These are the smart plans that we have. And if we look at that promote my app smart plan right here, you can see it has 3 touches and a duration of 5 days. And what it does is it sends an HTML email out. It will wait for a day, and then it will send text messages, just like I was talking about in the meeting. And the text message, if you hover over it, it will just let you know, hey, exactly what it is going to send out so you can see it. Now, let's say you find a library from a plant or let's say you find a plan from a library. Go ahead, Cameron.
How'd you know? I had a question.
You unmuted.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I saw when you hovered over there, it said like first name, like fill in the first name or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was told that is it supposed to auto fill in the name?
Yeah, and we'll get more to that when we go on to building the smart plan.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what's called a merge field, and pulls that from the contact.
Okay. Well, because I had one time where I had gotten one of these automated messages sent to me, and it sent to me and it said, "Hi, fill in first name," and I looked at it and I was like, "Oh."
Mm-hmm. Well, that's an example of somebody wrote a smart plan without the merge field, and they didn't come in here. So like I was getting at, it has this by default, but let's say you download a plan and it doesn't say exactly what you want it to say. You can come in here and hit the edit button, and you can edit the plan even though it's somebody else's to say what you want to say. So in this case, instead of saying agent first name, it may have said fill in first name, or something happened that broke. Just a second, let me find my cursor. That broke the merge field to make it not be blue anymore. So basically, if they went and they did fill in first name instead of that, well, that's not going to go very well. That's just going to be text to the system. So what you do for the merge field is you come here where it has the F, use merge fields, and you choose what you want it to fill in for you.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know, because that was one of my biggest worries, I think, with starting SmartPlans is I didn't want it to ever mess up and say that, because that's so like impersonal, and I would feel so embarrassed if I sent out one that just said hi first name.
Yeah. You know what? I've done it by mistake.
Really?
Yep. And so background for me, for you, those of you who do not know, I do run a sales business of my own. I lead a team called Tri-Town Home Group. And when I was first getting used to this system, I had that happen to me. So it's definitely something you want to watch.
Yeah.
So when you come in, get a new smart plan that is not from Keller Williams, you want to come in and make sure that these are all blue and they look correct. But let's say we are here and you don't like this text message that says, did you know that you can see all cumulative stats about your neighborhood in my new app? Let me know what you think. And then that's going to autofill your app link in there. Let's say you want it to say something different. Let's say you're like, okay, we need the app link, but let's go ahead and delete this out and say, did you know that the KW app will let you see how long it will take to get to work from a neighborhood? Check out my app here. Just like that, even though it's a Keller Williams done smart plan, I edited it to fill my own needs. And then you just hit save, and it will save it all up for you as long as everything's good to go. And you can exit out of the editing. So any questions there on what you do with the smart plan once you pull it in, how you can edit it? Guys, I built in time for questions. Come on. So perfect. Well, you have the smart plan downloaded from the library, and you've edited it to do what you want. Now you need
Also,
to add
Harper, this is
people.
Jessica. May I help you?
Sorry, what, Jess? Oh, she answered the phone. That's cool. Oh, my bad. My bad.
Okay, I did have one question about the section where you can put your app in. How would it auto-generate to actually, when it's sent, there was a link hooked up to it to download your app? How do you get that together?
Yeah, that's a great question. So every agent has their own app link, and that is stored in a few places inside Command. And the system knows where to look for that. So just like it pulls the name and stuff from the contact, it pulls your branded app link from those locations.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to fret about it at all. It's all good to go.
Perfect.
So getting through the basics here, you want to add people to the smart plan. One way to do it is come here and click add contact. You can do it from right here. And then you can literally search by a tag if you have them tagged in your database a certain way. And search that way and add to a smart plan. And from this screen, you can add as many people as you can get on the screen, right? And then it will say start now, confirm, good to go. This is saying if you have a Twilio account set up, it will send your text messages automatically. If you don't have a Twilio, you should get a Twilio. And if you need help with that, hit me up. I will show you how to do that back in your settings and marketing profile area. It's as little as $3.16 a month, and you don't have to worry about your texting. You just go, yep, it's gonna send the text. I'm good. So you come in here, you hit confirm, and there we go. It's sending that promote my app smart plan. That initial email will actually hit my .kw email here in a bit. I will show it to you before we take off. Another thing you can do is if you're wanting to add a whole bunch of people, you can come back into contacts. And you can do what's called a bulk action. So I can select everybody, and keep in mind you can go here and do the drop down to go up to 500 people. And you can sit here and select everybody, select bulk action, and you can add to smart plan, and you can add everybody at once to a smart plan. So something like promote my app, you might want to go ahead and add everybody in your database to that if that makes sense for your business. Then another action even still is you can come in here and you can click the smart plan tab and click add smart plan here to add to an individual in contacts. A great use case for this is you're on your phone, you're doing your calls and your prospecting, and you talk to somebody and then they're like, oh yeah, send me that neighborhood information. Well, you can come on in here and you can add them to that monthly neighborhood nurture that we've talked about in the past, right here on the same place where you're then going to go ahead and log the call into their timeline. So it keeps it all in one place there. And I like to think that that's super convenient. It has been for me. So yeah, basically we just went ahead and we showed how to add people to a smart plan. Let me go to my Gmail here. And of course I have massive typos and it causes things to look weird. Oh, wrong account. And you see right up here, it's going to have sent your new home search. And this is what that looks like. I tried to show the meeting, but the gift broke. So as you scroll down here, it's going to talk about the app, all the great stuff with the app, and a link here where you can be introduced to the new app, and then a link here that will take them to my own branded app. So pretty good stuff there. And so that's basically the function of the smart plan too. So you see how it automatically executes. I added myself right here through here, and I got the email. Questions to this point?
So if we wanted to test to make sure it's pulling that info like Cameron was talking about, the auto filling, we could just add ourselves as a contact and stick us on one of those campaigns.
Yep, that's exactly what I just did there too, to see how that email would come and look and everything. Now, I don't put myself on every campaign because I've done enough to know for sure, hey, these merge fields work. I've seen them in action. I'm good to go. But definitely if you're not sure how a smart plan is going to look as it executes, Easiest thing in the world to do is to go ahead and add yourself to a smart plan. All right, so go ahead, Cameron.
How do you take, let's say someone didn't want to be on anymore, how do you then like take them off of it?
Great question. So what you're going to have happen is if they're taking off of the text messaging, they'll probably reply stop, because there is a message on text that goes out saying, if you'd rather not receive this text messages, please reply stop. And you know, as an agent, I initially really didn't like that, because I was like, oh man, everyone's going to opt out. But the truth of the matter is you need it, because that's how you stay in line with the law. And also, it's a lot easier. Now, on the emails, there's an unsubscribe button that they can unsubscribe from emails. But if you just get a reply to a text or phone call saying, hey, will you take me off this plan and whatnot, you just go into their contact card here. You see where it says Smart Plans. You go back in there, and you just hit the trash can.
Easy.
Bye-bye. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah.
So perfect. Well, we got the basics down now. What do you do if you want to come up with your own crazy plan and write it yourself? This is where it gets more fun. You can come up here and hit create, and to create your own smart plan. And we're going to name this one Test McTesterson, because I think that's funny, and so I'm going with it. And we're going to come in here and we have a blank. So the first thing we're going to do when I run my business is I like to do a lot of calls, notes, and pop-bys. That's how I do it. And I've had great success. So the first thing I'm going to do in my smart plan is I'm going to make a call. So I came here and I just checked in this box. You can check anywhere in this box and it will add it. And you see this is going to be day 1. Awesome. So we come in here. It's going to be due the day it's done. And we're just going to say call. And I'm going to come here to the merge field and put contact first name, contact last name. That way in the task list, which it will show up right here under tasks, as well as on your home screen if you have your task list set up. It's just a little checkbox to check off. It will say call this person. You can put whatever you want in the description. I've had some agents that literally go and put an entire script that they want to use in that box, so it pulls up when they're ready to rock and roll. I'm pretty comfortable with my script, so I'll just put some like call, contact, use forward script, and ask for business. Nice and simple. And what's going to happen is when the smart plan triggers, it will say call Brian Verhey. And when in the task description, it'll say call, use the forward script, ask for business. This is important because what it's going to do is keep me on task, but also by putting what script I want to use in the description, it lets me know what kind of phone call I'm going to make, because I put different descriptions in based on the plan, based on what's going on. So next thing we want to do is we don't want to do too much in a day, so we can click add delay, and we can set a maximum of 30 days between tasks. So let's say we're going to add a 3-day delay. And then we want to go ahead and send a text message. There's 2 ways to send a text message in Smart Plans. You can do a static text message where it's just the same text message every single time they go on the plan, or a dynamic text message that you can do up to 6 different text messages. Or 5, sorry. Nope, 6, I was right. And the idea with the dynamic is it's going to send one of those 6 every time, and it won't send the same contact the same text twice. So that way it feels fresh every time they go through the smart plan, and you still don't have to think about it. So we can come in here and say something like, hey, just wanted to catch up and get coffee, whatever you want to say. You can be like Beethoven type typing, da 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 da. Whatever you want that to say, you can go ahead and pop in there. We can also, on the same day, send an email. Couple different ways to send an email. Of course, we need a subject either way. And then we can send a simple email, which is just what you'd expect. You'd write the email. So you can go, hi. Again, our merge fields are right here on the F. Contact first name. This is merge fields, agent first name. Now, full disclosure, agent first name might not mean a lot to you as an individual agent, but because I'm a team leader, I have this in a lot of my stuff because then other people on my team can use the same plan. So if you're, just in business with yourself, you don't have other people on your team, I wouldn't worry about that. Another option is designs. So you can go on designs and you can design yourself an email and get it all set up nicely. And then you just hit select designs. It's gonna come in here. We have our Keller Williams templates, and then we have the My Design templates that we did. So let's go ahead and let's just pick on this one here, creating a smart plan. And it's gonna warn me that, hey, any changes I make will affect it everywhere that the design is. So I'm gonna say, got it. It's gonna pop me in here. It's gonna say, hey, here's your design email. Do you want to make changes? And I made this in advance, and I can click the eyeball to see what that is going to look like. And this is what will go into their email. So if I send this to Cameron, it would say, hey, Cameron. In fact, you may have already gotten this one. Check out the video above to take a bite of command and learn how to add a contact kit to command. Oh, see, I need to edit that right there. And anyway, it would do that, and then here's the button to take us elsewhere. There's the video, but this is how that looks like when it heads out. So to edit that while we're here, we can just come in here and add the video to and learn about the smart plan, Library. There we go. So we go done. It changes that there. For some reason, it came off center. I hate it when that happens. So we'll just come back here and recenter it. Done. And there you go. Save and exit. You're off to the races. And so that takes us through add an email. Other great things to this, of course, we'll set a delay. And we can add to another smart plan. Now, this is really cool. This smart plan will add the contact to another smart plan as part of the plan. So something we can do with this is literally have plans hop on top of each other in an endless cycle. We often refer to this as bunny hopping. But so I can have this plan, add them to, let's say, the Promote My App smart plan. And then I can, leave that be, or I can, move on from here. We can also create a task. I like to do a lot of handwritten notes, so I'll do a touch style task, and I will just say, write contact first name, contact last name, a personal note. And then I can literally write in here what message I want to send the client, what handwritten note I'd like to send. And that, once again, appears on your task list for you to do later. Moving on from there, the last thing we have is we can restart a smart plan if we'd like to, and then we can tell it how many times we restarted. We can either do it up to 6 times. There it is. Or we can just say unlimited, and it's recurring, and it goes forever and ever and ever, and endless recurrence.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
Is this kind of more like just a reminder in your daily task of what you need to contact these people based on whatever you set it up? It doesn't necessarily automate stuff out?
No, this does the things. So
So
basically,
it does some things, but some are also just notes to you, right?
yeah. So basically, make a phone call. It's gonna say, "Hey, here's a phone call for you to make," and it's gonna show up on your task list because the system can't make a phone call for you.
Yeah.
But send a text message if you have Twilio set up. Then it's gonna come from the Twilio numbers to send these text messages out. So if you've gotten a text message from me recently, checking in on how you're doing with command, or offering you other advice, other info for command.
I have not.
You
But
have
I'm
not.
not- I'm not an agent though. I'm a transaction coordinator.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically those texts that went out to agents, they went to through my Twilio number.
Mhm.
I have 700 agents I'm helping out with, and all of them get texts from me, but I don't have time to text them all, so they're
Yeah,
good
sure.
to go.
Mhm.
So that's through Twilio. The emails are sent automatically as well. So this is
Through command.
through command mail, yep. And then the task lists are not automatic, but they show up on the text. So yeah, basically what it does is it keeps you on track and on plan, and it automates away other stuff for you to do. So any questions on creating a smart plan and how you can create your own custom plan?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cameron.
So my question, I'm actually so confused on it. I don't even know if it's going to make sense coming out, but when you go to add someone to the smart plan, let's say you had like 30 people you wanted to add all at one time just to get it over with. How are you, like, what do you do to be able to space it out so that if you add all 30 of those people on in that second, that you're not getting a task like reoccurring on that next time it pops back up to call 30 people today?
That's a great question that I should have covered up front earlier.
Oh,
So we'll go ahead and we'll add 500 contacts to a smart plan. And so I've selected them all. I'm going to select bulk action to add to a smart plan. And we'll go test McTesterson here. And here you have start them all now, start them all on another date, or you can stagger over the next few days. And this is how many contacts are added per day. So let's say you had 30 contacts and you wanted to add 5 per day. You'd select here. It'd be five people are added every day.
perfect. Okay.
So let me show you a cool thing. I'm going to hop over to my business side that you can do with these plans. If you come in here to Smart Plan here, and we're switching to my team Smart Plan, so things may look a little different. You'll notice I have Sphere of Influence Part 2, and then I also have my Sphere of Influence Smart Plan here. So if we go into Edit, and it's not going to let me make any changes because I have people on this Smart Plan, we can see that it's telling me to make a phone call and send a handwritten note because that's how I like to do things. Then it's going to wait 10 days and it's going to add them to the monthly neighborhood nurture if they're not already on it. Smart plans will never double add, but this is a way to make sure everybody in my world gets that monthly neighborhood nurture as well. After another 15 days, it's going to send this text message. It's going to say, hey, contact first name. This is, or we'll just say Cameron. Hey, Cameron, this is Brian. I was just checking to see how everything's going. I'd love to catch up in person. Let's get together for coffee or lunch next week. And what that's going to do, it's going to wait 3 days. They will oftentimes respond. But if not, I'm going to have a task list that says ensure that coffee or lunch is scheduled or declined. So that way it's sending out an invitation through a text message without me having to do anything, causing organic interaction between my clients and I. And then I'm able to follow up to make sure it's done. And then of course, I go on the lunch. It'll wait 30 days and it will add this Sphere of Influence Part 2. Now, the reason we have a 2-part plan is because you can only go so many days in a single smart plan. So then we come over here and we can go into the Part 2 smart plan. So here's our Part 2 smart plan. I have one person on Part 2 right now because, again, it's a cycle. And it's going to come back here. And after it's added to Part 2, they're going to get one of 2 text messages. Now, keep in mind, they went 60 days on the first plan. And then this plan is 61 days. So I only have 2 options because it's going to sound organic either way when we get through there. And it's just a check-in, hope all's well. If you ever need anything, let me know. It's going to wait a month. And it's going to have me call them. And then it'll wait a month and put them back on Part 1. So these 2 plans go in tandem together in an endless cycle to make sure that every 120 days I am having 6 touches with my sphere of influence, those people that are big to my business. And in that way, the system manages my follow-up for me. All I need to do is make sure I follow the plan when things pop up on my task list up here, which should be clear because I did my stuff this morning. Go ahead, Cameron.
So that one, So are you, the duration, are you kind of, is that kind of like an expiration date on when it stops on its own?
So the duration is how long the plan is. So if we look at the sphere of influence part 1, that is runs for 59 days, and then the plan is over. And if it did not have a repeat or a add to another smart plan, that would be the end of it.
Okay.
However,
Oh, yeah.
the last step on this one adds them to this one. So this one ends, but this one starts. Then after 61 days, they've gone through this part of the smart plan, and then they get added back down here. And it goes over and over again.
And is that automatically set up when you go to add that one, or do you have to click a button or something to make sure it does that?
Once they're added to the smart plan, it goes forever. So these are smart plans that I made for myself and my own business that I was sharing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So like the neighborhood nurture one that I have, that's not one I have to worry about. That one will just keep going.
Yeah, that one, the monthly neighborhood nurture, if you got the Keller Williams one, repeats indefinitely.
Okay.
It has unlimited repeats. In fact, we can look at it right here. My monthly neighborhood nurture. If we go into edit, which it'll let us view but not edit, because you know it's on. Repeat unlimited times right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's gonna send the email. It's gonna wait 30 days. It's gonna repeat.
Perfect. Thank you.
So as promised, I'm going to go ahead and publish some smart plans here. So if you choose to use them, I'm going to publish my part 1 and part 2 sphere of influence. And this is also in part to show you how to do it. So if you have a smart plan that's just a killer smart plan, you can come here and click the 3 dots and click publish to library. And what that's going to do, linked plan not found. Well, I guess if you have to fix the link before it'll let me do it, but you would name the plan and it would put it into the library for people to search for. So I'm actually going to go ahead and check in on why the linked plan is not found. And I will share these to the library today after class. So that way, if you want to use them, modify them for your own business, you're able to do so.
Can we just search by your name or the title?
You can just search by my name in the filter. So like I showed you, you come in here to library. If you come in here to filter, you can just go Brian Verhey. And it's going to show me right here. You got to check that, click that box, filter results, and it should show up 2 more here because I only have this one that I had previously published. So that is the leverage piece today. It really adds a whole lot of hours to my life, having all that modified. I don't have to think about it. I just make my prospecting calls when it comes up on the checklist. I have, you know, several different plans. I have open house follow-up plans. I have online lead follow-up plans and all sorts of stuff that I do and have people in different groups based on who they are as a contact. And so I just put them into a plan. I follow the plan, and that has led to success.
And as far as for my end, for what I do, I could use those to automate emails to transactions too, right? I would just set up an email that I want it to say every time during a transaction to a client.
So they're time-based, they're not action-based.
Well, yeah, but we have timelines that you want to send them out once a transaction becomes accepted, like you're supposed to contact. So I could set it up like that probably.
Yeah, as long as you timed it right. Let's say like in Washington State, our standard inspection window is 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put them on there on the day of mutual acceptance, then we get to day 10. And an email about inspections follows up saying, hey, your inspection contingencies ended. Here's our next steps, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You could do that. However, there's another tool and opportunities that I would encourage you to look into more.
What is that?
And that's client updates in the checklist. Because then you can send them simple, this is done, this is done, this is done, based on what's been checked off in the opportunity. And that might be better because then you can control when that's checked off in case there's a delay or an extension or something.
I'll have to go look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, we
We'll
ended
be
up
covering
just,
that in another class. You can also hop into my office hours and we'll get you more on that too.
okay, yeah. We just made our own checklist because it was easier, but I'll look at that and see.
Yeah. And like I said, hop into my office hours later on. I can show you at that time. So any more questions on the smart plans?
You have office hours later today, right?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. No questions on SmartPlans, just that.
All righty. Perfect. Well, I'll go ahead and give you back a little time. There's only 2 of you, so if your questions, we finished early. Hopefully this is helpful and you have something you can take to your business.
I have one quick question. We do the home anniversary, and it wouldn't allow you to put annually in there. Have they updated that?
Not at this time, no.
Okay. Yeah, we just put them on our calendar to remind us on Gmail since it doesn't, but
Yeah.
might be going in the suggestion box.
A great place for suggestions too is idea.kw.com because I'm not high enough up the totem pole to have any clout there.
Yeah.
Here's something else I do. I can come in here to my task list. Since we have extra time, I'll just show you. And I can create a task, right? So we come in here, we can go home anniversary. And then we can set this out for, let's say it's in October 12th of the next year. We put that in there. That's the due date. And we can say do home anniversary stuff, whatever it is. So let's say you want to send something out a few days before. Well, they're on the 15th, you could have this task pop up on the 12th, reminding you to do what you need to do for that client. And then you create that task. You can even associate the contact. So let's go. You can associate the contact with it right there. And then this creates the task on the task list that will show up. So that could be part of your closing bit as well, because then it will show up right here on a to do. So just some good options for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, I'll see y'all later.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you
Thanks.
so much, Brian.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.